Kevin Wood back. Long Island Talks, exclusively distributed on LongIsland.com. We have a special twosome today, right? Two guys is our first three-person interview. Excited to introduce Alex and Andrew. Andrew, of course, of LongIsland.com, our own Andrew Hazen. We're going to be talking about a very exciting service, something that I'm excited about, bagels. Long Island bagels, they're completely synonymous. First, I want to actually start with you, Alex. This is the age-old question. What makes a Long Island bagel better than any other bagel? Let's face it, it is better. People talk about the water, but I want to hear from you, the expert.
So obviously, their first response is going to be the water, and they're absolutely correct. Obviously, when you go to different states, they say the New York style bagel, but they don't have the water, so it's just not the same. So that would be the correct answer, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
And the fact that the way it's made, right? Some people are making bagels this newfangled way, but the water-based way of making it is the way to do it, right?
So yeah, so the water that goes into the dough as well as the water that it's boiled in has an effect on the bagels for sure.
All right, good to know. So you two have gotten together, but you're age-old friends. I know that. Andrew,
Yes.
give us some background with your relationship with Alex through the years.
Sure. So as many may know from my obsession online with bagels, I worked for Alex's dad, Adam, when I was in 10th grade, which is 1988, at his store at Bagel Boss in Merrick. So at the time, I believe it was Bagel Boss's third location. And I remember clear as day, my mom dropped me off. Adam was building out the store, and he ultimately hired me to be a counter help, bagel baker, learn the whole thing. I was, 15, 16 years old. And throughout the course of the years, they went from 3 stores to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. And I literally remember the day where, after Alex was born, I'm 47. I was, at his, bris in his backyard catering with the bagels, lox, and schmear. So we had, literally have known him since birth. And, having gone to school in New York, we're both Oswego graduates, right?
Oh, awesome. And, Oneonta is in the house.
All right. Oneonta, Oswego, Alex is Syracuse. But when I went to law school in Michigan, my parents were shipping me bagels, as I'm sure Alex was getting shipped bagels all the time too. And I realized that, people were freaking out that I had these New York bagels. And if you think about back to 1988, 1989, there really weren't cell phones or smartphones like there are today.
Yeah.
So I was mesmerized that every Saturday and Sunday when I went to Bagel Boss, there was a line out the door, on the sidewalk, in the parking lot. And it was the same people. Whether it was a sesame bagel and cream cheese and coffee or $100 spread, they spoke to you because they weren't texting or FaceTiming anybody.
Nice.
And you started to build a rapport with these customers over the years. And, you would hear, oh, I'm bringing this to my grandson. I'm shipping these here. I got to get these to my, so-and-so hasn't had a Bialy in 20 years. And I thought to myself back then, it was probably Harry and David, right? The Fruit of the Month Club with just pears and oranges.
Yeah.
Maybe a Cigar of the Month Club back then, pre-internet.
Yeah, beer didn't come till later. Mm-hmm.
I always thought, there's a Fruit of the Month, a Beer of the Month, a Chocolate of the Month. We got to do a Bagel of the Month Club. And, we made it happen.
So tell me about that. A customer can get it anywhere in the United States, one bagel or a dozen bagels or whatever they want.
So we're currently doing either half a dozen or a dozen.
Okay.
Bagels, mini bagels, and flagels, which is another interesting note, which most people don't know, but Alex's father, Adam, actually owns the trademark on flagel.
You got to be kidding me.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Well, I'm not kidding you.
Give me the definition of flagel. I'm sure a lot of people don't know this, and this is going to go out to places where people don't even know the bagels and how great they are. So that's our aim here. Tell me what a flagel is, Alex.
So basically a flagel is just a flattened bagel, which gives the customer the opportunity to, when toasted, it's a crunchier exterior, but you get that same taste. And it's a little bigger of a sandwich, so it's more surface area to put stuff on it. So when you're really trying to load up on like a lox, cream cheese, tomato, onion, capers, it fits perfectly on there. And you get that same great taste, but like I said, it's a little crunchier of an exterior, which people love.
All right. Awesome. So back to the logistics. Andrew, you're the expert at that because quite honestly, I'm looking at those characters in the back. We know what they are. They're bobbleheads. You've shipped tens of thousands of those around the country. So this is really a logistics company at this point. A great product logistically shipped out to a customer.
Right. So we're shipping, back to your question, it's a half a dozen or a dozen bagels. You can do a one-time purchase, or we have the monthly recurring subscription model. And we do ship not only everywhere from Florida, Colorado, Texas, state of Washington, Nevada, but we are seeing numerous requests to ship to Canada, London, Australia. And we just really switched over with the recent surge in business to shipping FedEx, and we will soon be shipping internationally.
So get this, right? Alex, where are your stores?
So we have about 10 or 11 in Long Island. We have one in Queens, and then we have two in New York City.
What's the furthest east you have?
Furthest east is Bayshore.
All right. So I live east, way out east, right? I'm dying for a good bagel. The further east you go out, even in New York, well, let me be kind. The further west you go, the better bagel it gets, okay? So I love your bagels. I've been to your stores. I want this shipment, right? Which is crazy, right? But I get the variety. I'm sure you have East End bagel buyers.
You're not in East End. We're shipping, I mean, Syosset, Merrick. You know, we don't know if it's because of the environment today.
True.
Because people don't want to get out or they want to go to the store, so it's a convenience factor. But, when people had their children at school, I mean, I remember, we have also, and just for the record, we've also shipped over probably 500,000 bagels at this point, right? So we ship a lot of bagels. So we know parents that ship their kids, whether it's Tulane, Ohio, every month. I've seen senators ship their fathers in Massachusetts a dozen everything bagels a month for an entire year. So there really is a strong affinity to a New York bagel.
Absolutely. And so at the center of this is the Bagel Boss. I mean, you guys are sixth generation, I was told, which is mind-blowing. I mean, are we talking about a 100-year-old company here?
So the company is not 100 years old. When we talking sixth generation, that'd be sixth generation in my family, so my grandparents and on from that. But the company's been around since, I believe, 1976. So it's about 40 years or so in business. But my family, going back almost 100 years from Białystok, Poland, have been doing bialys and bagels and everything.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Alex's grandfather was one of the founding members of, was it the Bialy Union or the Bagel Union?
Correct. Bialy Union, correct. Yes. Yeah.
So let's talk about the customer interface. How does a customer order? It's got to be web-based. Is there an app? Is there plans for an app? Tell me about that, Andrew.
Well, it's bagelthemonth.com. Yeah, it's a mobile-friendly website. We see a lot of traffic, mobile, tablet, and desktop. It's built on a Shopify platform, so very, Alex and I are not techies. We have resources and a team that support us, but we're pretty quick to make changes and implement apps. But it's online. People can also call, but it's mainly driven by online orders. We don't have an app yet because the website's mobile friendly.
Mobile friendly, sure.
But we are building out our subscription, model, and the fact that we keep talking about bagels, of course, but there's the black and white cookies, and then there's the challahs, and the Linzer tart. So people are craving, and we can ship, fresh, the Nova, the cream cheese as well. We have in the past. With our recent explosion, we're looking back into shipping that way. But it really is remarkable, and people are just, they really are so appreciative. And we use technology, even artificial intelligence today. So we have a bot on the website. As you start to ask it some questions, it will know based on experience. Because look, we're a small, lean team, right? We've got a 100-year family behind us in 12 locations. But when you have 22,000 people on your website, you got to be able to act quick.
Absolutely. Alex, I understand there's one thing when you're delivering to individuals, but there's companies, there's organizations, there's charities, there's different types of things you can do for those organizations. Tell us about that.
No, of course. So what we've done is we have partnered with a few charities like United Ways and Scope, where basically we are giving their followers of their charity a code that when they do check out and they use the code, we'll donate $5 of every order to that charity. So nice. Scope is a nice charity, and it really hits home for me because the people that created that charity were the head of my sleepaway camp, Timberlake. So when we launched this website, I was trying to figure out ways that we could give back. And right away, I thought of Scope, and we've gotten a bunch of orders using that checkout, and we've been donating to them. So it's been pretty great.
Now, one time I saw this, it wasn't too long ago. It was almost looked like a Grateful Dead colored bagel.
Tie-dye bagel.
Did you design that?
No, well, we own bagels.com. So, as a domain, as an admitted domain name
domainer,
addict, we own a lot of bagel domains. Everythingbagels.com, sesamebagel.com, cinnamonraisinbagel.com.
I would expect nothing less from you.
Thank you. So throughout the course of, we did not create, right? I mean, as far as I know, we did not create the rainbow bagel. There's a gentleman, I think out of Brooklyn, that created that. But we do own bagels.com. And because, the team at Bagel Boss is so creative and they're basically like bagel artists, they could, and Alex could speak to it about the color mix, but we've done, red and white bagels for Mother's Day and Valentine's Day.
Right.
Alex went to Syracuse, so we could do like blue and orange bagels, or Islander fans or Knicks fans.
That's
the process
cool.
is amazing.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
No, so I mean, obviously, like we said, that guy in Brooklyn created it, but with any industry, you got to keep up with the times. So once that guy came out with that, we're like, all right, we got to do this. We're able to figure out how to pile the doughs up and create the rainbow bagel. And then once we did that, we're just like, why limit ourselves to rainbow? We could really make any colors. And we've done partnerships with camps where we've done colors of the specific camps for parents to bring up for their kids for visiting day. Like I said, Syracuse bagels, when I went up and visited for a basketball game, I brought back a bunch of orange and blue bagels. They're a huge hit. So it's just something to really bring a different kind of spin on the bagel that people seem to love.
So I want to understand this. As we climb out of this pandemic we're in, and hospitals may have these large breakfasts to celebrate this 1,000 people. Are you telling me that you can make the hospital colors, for example, NYU Langone, purple and white, and deliver 1,000 bagels?
Absolutely.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Good idea, right?
Yeah.
Let's push that. Very good. Andrew, for people that are listening in, you have a special deal for them to try it for the first time? I know I want to try this so badly. I'm going to order right after we get off. I mean, I definitely want this quality.
Well, we appreciate that. And in your honor, we'll make the code KW10. So if you go to bagelofthemonth.com and on checkout, use code KW10, you will get 10% off your first order.
Whether it be a half a dozen or a dozen.
No matter what you order, with free nationwide shipping. Send it to a loved one. As we like to say, be the host with the most or the guest with the best bagels, and order today, at our website.
Yeah, that's great. Love it, guys. Great concept. I wish you all the success in the world. Thanks for coming on. We'll check back with you during the summer, see how you're doing. I'm sure you're going to grow by leaps and bounds. Thanks again for being on Long Island Talks. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Thank you.